Okay, we are live, or I am live. We are live. Um, Hi guys, welcome to the stream tonight. Today, we're going to talk about how to believe in yourself and your dreams in really easy, believable ways. Um, Before I get started, I'm going to um, invite anyone who wants to come up in the chat. That link is now up. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. I think everything's set up right. All right. So feel free to chat with me in the chat by text, or if you want to jump on with me in either video or audio, feel free to do that. Just click the link and you'll pop up here. Oh, you know what? I want to send this to someone. 1 second. Okay. Okay. And then, so today we're talking about belief in yourself, belief in your dreams, how you can get it if you don't have that, how you can find it more easily. I find that it's actually, there are some things that you can remind yourself to easily help you do that, no matter where you might be. And so, where to start with this? Um, let's start with the belief scale behind me, which hopefully you can see that. This is loosely taken from Esther Hicks, Abraham teachings, just the idea of that there's a scale of belief in ourselves that we have on everything. And this is going to be different on every single subject, whether it's belief that you can be successful, whether it's belief that you can find happiness, whether it's belief that you can feel connected to yourself, whether this is belief that you can be in the career that you want, whether this is a belief in your ability to find love or find a partner, whether this is a belief that you can move towards those goals and those dreams you have, or those creative projects, or mending relationships, or whatever the thing that every single topic is different. You have a different level of belief on every topic because you have different thoughts about every topic. And so this is sort of the the scale from top to bottom. Either you don't believe it at all, which is where you might be on certain things or a lot of things, um, or if you have or a little bit better than that is doubt. Like there's some part of you that thinks it could be possible, but you doubt it. A little better than that is hope. You're hoping it'll be right. You're hoping it'll be true. You're hoping you can do it. You're hoping you'll find it. You're hoping it'll work out. A little bit above that is you believe it. You believe it. You believe you can have it. You believe you can do it. Maybe it's just a matter of time. Maybe it's just a matter of a few things falling into place. But you generally speaking, you believe that it can happen. And then at the very top is you just know. Like you just know. It's a knowing inside you that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And but there's a sense of like a very solid, stable knowing of the thing, even if it doesn't yet appear in your actual reality. And so the idea here is that you want to move your way up the scale and find different ways that you can bring yourself into either a belief or a knowing of that what you want is possible and that you can achieve the things that you're looking for. You can have the kind of life you want to have. You can do the things that you want to do. You can create the kind of life that would make you happy. And so the reason that like this arrow is basically saying, we're going from low vibe to high vibe, from like not believing in yourself, negative thinking about it, to a knowing or a belief or a knowing, which is like a very solid, strong high vibe of that. But you'll notice here that hope is, you see these dots and then this other arrow here. This is sort of like the opening. This is what you want to aim for, because if you can get to hope, it becomes way easier to then get to everything else, get to belief, get to knowing. So think of hope as like the door that opens up for you to then more easily move in the upward trajectory, the upward direction of this. Because and I'll give you the logical like backing of this mindset wise. This is all mindset stuff, right? Emotional intelligence, mindset. This is what we're talking about today when we're talking about all of this. But in terms of mindset, when you hope that something is true, your mind opens up in a new way than if you don't believe something's true. Let's say that, for example, let's use me as an example. So when I was going to college, I wanted to work on Conan's talk show, right? Like that was a thing that was a dream of mine. But if I truly didn't believe that that was possible, uh, then there were things that I ended up doing, like for example, saving up money, moving to Los Angeles, um, jumping into the TV world, getting into the talk show world specifically. Like there were a bunch of things that I did, the choices that I made to do those things where I wouldn't have even bothered. If I truly didn't believe, if it was just like, oh, that would be a nice idea in my head, but I truly don't believe that that could happen, then I wouldn't have bothered even jumping on a lot of this stuff. Why would I go move cross country if I truly didn't believe it was possible? The answer is I probably would not have. And so that idea is super important that uh, it was me having sort of towards the upper end of this scale. Um, I can't describe, I certainly believed it. I was definitely at belief. I, there's even a sense that I had as I was on the adventure, especially as I went, like as I continued, as I started getting into different shows, like different like sitcoms or different talk shows where I just had a knowing, and I can't describe how I knew that. It just was like, you ever get that thing where you just know something's happening, or you know something's in the process of happening, or you don't know how to explain it, but you're just sure? It's like it was that. And now looking back, I can sort of see why that optimistic perspective, why I had that, why I carried that, and how that helped me. But at the time, all that mattered was that I had it. And that really did drive me along to to that goal, to that dream. And so, so the idea here is you want to at least get to a level of hope, because if you can get to hope, like, so to go back real quick, if you don't believe something's true, if you truly don't believe something, you don't believe that your dreams are going to come true, you don't believe that you're going to be successful, you don't believe that you're going to make it, you don't believe that you're going to be able to see the progress you're looking for, you don't believe you're going to find a relationship that you love or a person that you love, you don't believe that you're going to be able to make the money you want to make, you don't believe you're going to be able to do the things that you want to do or have the career you want to have. If you truly don't believe that, you're not going to you're not going to get the ideas that are going to help you get there. Why would you? You don't believe it. You're probably not even going to be thinking about it that much. And number two is, when if ideas do come to you, you're probably not going to jump on them because you don't believe. You just don't believe it. So you won't be making the moves that will help you get there. So that is not going to help you. Doubt is a little better, but it's still a sense of, well, there's still this negative like angle to it. I doubt that will happen. I don't know. I doubt it. When you doubt something, you're also not in the right mental headspace. Remember, it's about, and I talk about this all the time because it's, I think, the most crucial element of mindset and emotional intelligence, which is our headspace. If you are in a headspace of doubt, it means that you're not going to be getting a ton of ideas that are going to be helpful to you in terms of on that subject moving you forward, because you doubt it. You're not even going to be spending a lot of time on it. You're not going to be really paying attention to it. It won't be something that's like on your mental emotional radar. And so it's not going to be that helpful to you. And when you get ideas, if you truly are in a state of doubt, when those ideas come to you, or when any ideas come to you about like, oh, well, yeah, save up money, move to LA, start meeting people in television, start trying to like apply for jobs in TV, start doing, like if you truly doubted yourself and just had that if doubt was the main place that your mind was swimming in, or that you were swimming in inside your mind, then you're not going to be jumping on certain opportunities. You're not going to be following through with certain ideas that will logically move you in those directions. But hope is the first sign mentally and emotionally, that sort of opens the door for things to start happening, really magical things to start happening in your mind, because hope is a positive emotion. It's sort of at the bottom. If you think of like emotions on this like scale of like the top ones are like, you know, the big the big high vibe emotions, love, passion, excitement, like those kind of like real like empowerment, confidence, those at the top. And then you have like lower good vibes, like, you know peaceful and relaxed, and you're feeling calm, right? Like those kind of things. Hope is sort of towards the bottom. It's like it's positive, but there's still elements of you not fully believing it, which is totally fine. At least you've now opened the door for your mind to start moving in the directions you want it to move. So if you can get to hope on anything you want, I hope that'll work. I hope I can do it. I hope that it'll work out. I hope that'll happen. You've now opened your mind to allow a different level of ideas to start occurring to you, to start entering your mind, to start entering your conscious awareness. And if that starts happening, you'll also, in hope, start to move towards things. Because if you truly hope something is going to work, or hope something is going to happen, then when an idea comes to you, like, hey, talk to that person about that thing, like ask that person if there's any openings at that job that they're in. Ask that, like, or ask them if they know of any next steps that you could take to sort of get you in the industry you want to get into, or anything like that. If you have a level of hope, you will move forward with a lot of those things. You will start asking those questions. You will start doing those things. You will start moving on some of these ideas that you're getting. And remember, at the end of the day, no matter what you want to manifest into your life, no matter what kind of life you want to create for yourself, it really is just a series of ideas that you end up following, and that start leading you into those directions. Ideas that lead to opportunities, that lead to people that can help you, that lead to events that happen, that lead to circumstances that change. So this is why this little like dotted line is here, because once you reach the level of hope or above, you've now opened your mind in a new way to allow the kinds of ideas that will move you in the directions of your goals and dreams to actually occur to you. And you'll have that inspiration and the energy to actually want to follow through with it. And that is what will lead to logical manifested results. So if you can get to hope, that's the ticket to open the door. But you really want to get into belief or knowing. Because if you believe in something, if you believe in yourself, if you believe that anything's possible, or even not even that anything's possible, if you just believe that it's possible for you, then that's opening up your mind even more. So think of like not believing, there's nothing there, right? Doubt, there's like, I don't know, there's like a seed there, but there's nothing, it's not opening. Hope at least starts to do this with your mind. It kind of opens the door to new ideas occurring to you and for you to actually follow it. Belief expands that, and now your mind is working on different levels, where different levels of ideas are coming in. And knowing is like the best. It's like you've now opened fully, and it's just a matter of time. You're going to come up with the ideas at some point. You're going to move on those ideas at some point, and you're going to achieve whatever you're looking for at some point. It's just a knowing. And I don't know how to quite describe it. It's kind of hard to describe what it is to have that sense of knowing, but I've had it before I got on Conan. I just knew what was going to happen. I just knew I was doing that. And I just didn't know how or when, but I didn't care. And that didn't matter to me. I just knew that it was going to happen. And that's the cool thing about knowing. You don't have to know how or when. You don't have to know the sequence of events that are going to unfold. You don't have to know that it's going to come from this person or that person, or applying to this, or doing this, or creating this, or writing this. You don't have to know any of that information. In fact, you can't really know that information. You can guess, and maybe you're right, maybe you're not, but you can't know for sure, because there's too many variables in life to really know. However, what you know is that you can do it, and that that you're on the path to it, that it's happening, it's sort of unfolding. Even if you don't know how, or even if you don't know when, you just know that it is in the process. And so that unlocks so many cool ideas and so many cool resources, so many cool your imagination. It unlocks your creativity. It unlocks your the insights that you get. It unlocks the opportunities that you see. You'll be drawn to like notice things in your world, or go to certain websites that will help you, or watch certain YouTube videos that will help you, or listen to certain podcasts that will help you, or talk to certain people that will help you, or notice when friends or people that you're currently working with say something that is like, oh wow, that's a really good idea, or whatever, and then start jumping on those things. That's what the beauty of knowing, or belief, or at least belief, a knowing really does. So that's kind of the scale. Think about that, consider that. And before I bring on somebody's here, which I'm excited to talk to Alina again, she's back, but I want to talk real quick about just things that can make it very easy for you to believe in yourself. No matter what you no matter where you are on this scale, maybe you are in a place of doubt. Maybe you are right now in a place where you don't really believe it's possible. You want to believe, but you just find it hard to believe in yourself, or you find it hard to believe that what you want is going to come to fruition. What I want you to start thinking about is there are logical things that you can start thinking about that are completely believable, and that will help you move not only towards those goals and dreams you have, but will help you move up this scale. So, for example, like uh, going easy on myself is always going to be helpful to me. Like that is a belief that no matter where you are, no matter what you're currently dealing with, no matter what you might be struggling with, that is always true. That going easy on yourself is always going to be helpful. It's always going to be helpful. Here's another one. Like something I know, and this is something I remind myself of all the time, which is the more I stay in good headspaces, or the more I get into good headspaces, the more good ideas I know are going to come to me. The more imagination I know I'm going to have, the more creativity I know I'm going to have at my disposal, the more opportunities I know I'm going to spot, the more answers and solutions I know that I'm going to be able to put together, the more I know I'm going to be able to figure things out, because good headspaces help you figure things out. So if I know that I'm in good headspaces on a regular basis, or if I know that playing that game, or going on that bike ride, or working out, or like taking breaks, or talking to friends, or hanging out with people that make me feel good. Like if I know that those things are going to get me into good headspaces, well, I know that good headspaces are going to help me with whatever it is that I want. If they're going to help me figure things out, they're going to help me take the steps and get the ideas, and have the energy to move on those ideas. So like just reminding yourself of very basic things. I have another like a list that I'm going to just read some things off of. And feel free to use this if you are in states of doubt or disbelief in yourself or your dreams, because no matter what it is, these things are always true. And that's sort of what you want to sort of hang your hat on. You want to find things to tell yourself and remind yourself and repeat to yourself over and over and over again every day, especially when you're feeling doubtful. But even when you're enjoying your day, remind yourself of these things, because it'll help like these sink in a real visceral way. So here's another. If I'm feeling bad, I don't want to make decisions from that headspace. That's just logical. Like you don't want to be deciding things when you are in a negative headspace, because negative headspaces are full of bad ideas and warped thinking, and misreading things, and misinterpreting people, and saying things that you don't actually mean, like, and confusion, and feeling like unsure about things. So don't use those kind of headspaces to try to figure out your problems or make decisions. Like that's just always going to be true. So if you remind yourself of that, then you'll do that less, and then that will logically help you. um, it's always a good idea to be nice to myself, be kind to myself, go easy on myself, be my own friend. That's always going to be true. It doesn't matter if you're having a good day or a bad day. That is always going to be true. And so remind yourself of that, And then you will, again, like the ultimate goal with all of these is that by reminding yourself of these things, it's helping you shift to a good headspace more easily and more frequently and for longer durations of time. And the more time you spend in good headspaces, the more you're going to figure things out, the more you're going to put things together, the more you're going to see your answers, the more inspiration you're going to get, the more those your heart is going to lead you to the things and the people and the information and the resources that are going to logically help you move towards those goals and dreams in little ways and big ways. So another one you could say to yourself is, I know that it's logical that if I'm feeling good, good ideas are going to pop into my mind. That's just true. And you probably know that from your own experience. So keep that in mind. When you're in good headspaces, good ideas are going to keep coming to you. I know that from practicing doing it. You might know that from like past experience, but you can know that. Show yourself that that's true. Get into a good headspace later today, tomorrow, whenever you find yourself able to do that. And then watch how like you get a little good idea to do this or that. Oh my God. Sorry, I have to pause this for a minute. There's a peacock standing outside the window. Oh my God. Okay, how do I do this? I can't unplug the internet. That's not going to work. I'm going to just try to, hold on. I got to show you this. Oh my God. This peacock. I saw it the other day. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Do you see that? It's on top of the shed. On top of the shed? See that thing? It's huge and it makes this cawing sound. It's so cool. Oh my God. I hope it starts living here. That would be really cool. I hope it spreads its tail. Whoa. It's so beautiful and it's so cool. And it was in this tree right on the side of the house the other day, like 2 days ago. And it flew away and now it's back. And this is the most like visible I've ever seen it. Oh man, I got to put my glasses on so I could see that better, but it's really cool. Anyway, so I got a new friend. How rare is that for a peacock to be like in your yard? That's so different. It's so crazy. Anyway, the universe is awesome and lines you up with shit like that. So anyway, repeat things that are believable to you, that are always going to be true, and then watch as your mind starts to shift and watch as the opportunities start to roll in and watch as you move your way up this ladder into believing that you can do it, that you can make it, that you can be what you want to be, that you can have what you want to have, that you can create the life you want to create, and ideally know that's true. Like if you can get to a knowing, like watch what happens as everything just clicks into place. But even belief is super, super important. But bottom line, get to at least hope. Especially if you're kind of lower on the scale, just reach hope and then it'll take you up from there once you have a hopeful perspective. Okay, I want to bring Alina on. Sorry for the delay. Alina,
Hey,
welcome.
Chris.
Welcome to the live stream. How are you doing?
I might sound a little weird because I definitely have a fever and
Oh
just sort of
no. Oh
yeah,
yeah, you were.
yeah, but I really like I don't know, I really wanted to join and I told you I was going to let you know in advance, but I had so much work and I forgot to
That's all
let you
right.
know, and then I got the link and I was like, "No, I want to join."
Good. I'm glad I sent you the link. I'm glad I did. I thought because I didn't hear from you, I would do it just in case.
Thank
Um, but yeah, I'm sorry if I'm distracted. This peacock is like very
No,
eye
wait,
catching
I
to
was
me.
gonna comment on that. I don't know how to, like, comment, when I'm in the waiting room. Maybe I can, I just
I
haven't
don't know
figured.
if you can. I don't know.
Yeah, I might not be able to, I don't know, but I was just gonna say, I read somewhere that peacocks are good luck.
I believe that. And they're so rare. Like I truly outside of a zoo, I've only seen one in the wild like twice. One was the other day when I was driving down a road that was like, I don't know, 6 blocks away and it was on someone's roof and I remember getting so excited about it. I was like, "Oh my
No,
God, wait, that's a peacock." Like I lit up
they're
so
beau
excited because it was like how rare is that? I've never seen that before like in the wild, like just out in people's yards or whatever. And then I think because of my excitement, this is how I believe, like, I believe that because my excitement was so great, it found its way to me.
Oh my gosh, I totally believe that too.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. It's so cool. I don't know what they eat. I wish I can go out and, like, give it something, but I don't know what they eat.
Berries? I don't know. I know. I have no idea. I'm just
This
kind of
sound your voice sounds like a guess for that one. I don't know if but it sounds right.
like berries and seeds. I don't know why, but I'm kind of leaning towards that, but
Oh,
I
damn.
could be wrong.
If it's still here by the time I end this, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna chat
Do you
GPT
just
what
want
it
to
can
take
eat.
us with you and go feed it
I
right
wish I could, but I'd lose internet connection because I'm like
now?
literally like the wired in, so I couldn't
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
you. But unfortunately, um, but this is so wild. And also, is this the only one? Like, are there more? And if it's alone, like, how does it mate? How does it like
Maybe you
eat?
need to like do like some kind of chanting outside to like call, you know what I mean? Like to
Oh
call
my
them
god.
in.
It sounds so distinct. Like I know the sound now. Like I heard it. I actually heard it like about an hour ago, but I didn't see it. And it does this like 4-part caw, like caw. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't imitate it,
you're
but
doing.
it does 4 of them. And so when I went out the other night when it was in a tree on the side of the house, I just like whistled 4 times in a row, and then I take a beat and then whistle 4 times in a row. And it seemed interested in what I was saying, but it
Wait, this is so funny because you like low key are chanting like that's
it
a
probably
form
thinks,
of a chant.
oh my god, if it spreads its tail, I will turn you guys around and show you.
That's
But right
hilarious.
now it's just sitting on the shed. Okay.
Yeah.
Alina, what's on your mind this week or
Um,
today?
I mind. Well, actually, so the reason why I forgot to let you know, I had this incident that went on, and I was gonna like, basically, I forgot to let you know about whether I was gonna join or not because I got sidetracked with like, it's really like a first world problem, but it's so like affected me, and I just wanted to ask you what your feedback
Mm,
was on this. So I was
okay.
sitting working, and let me just give a little bit of background. We've talked about this. My work is not my favorite thing in
Right.
the world. Like I sometimes I feel like prisoners in San Quentin have more freedom. Like than the
Uh-huh.
way that I feel when I'm like working
Sure.
at the computer. But that might be a little dramatic, right? But like
Maybe a little, yeah.
yeah, just a wee bit. But what I will say is like, leading up to this little situation, I was frustrated because I'm like, crap, I'm like over here trying to do this really difficult stuff, super tedious project, not enjoying it, aware of it. And then I was like, okay, how can I make something better for myself? I was out of Dayquil because I drank like the rest of it this morning.
Mm,
And I was like, all right, I need to order some Dayquil, and I go on Uber Eats because I was like, I'm not going to the store right now. I go on Uber Eats and I place an order for Dayquil and NyQuil. I'm already like
mm,
getting like kind of irritated because it's an hour wait, but besides for that, it says you need an ID, right? And I'm like, seriously, you guys, the reason why I want to order this through you is because like I don't want to see anybody when I'm like sick. I don't want to open the door. I don't want to get other people sick. Like,
mm,
why would I do that, right? So I'm a little bit irked, but then I'm calming myself down at the same time, and I'm like, you know what? It's fine. He or she is gonna come in an hour. They're gonna knock on my door or give me a call, and I'm gonna come outside, show them my ID. I'm gonna drink my Dayquil, have my NyQuil later today. It's all gonna be fine.
mm,
Then I'm like tracking the driver because I can feel my like fever was kind of rising, and I'm tracking the driver, and I can see he's 3 minutes away. And I'm like, "Oh, thank goodness." Like, the Dayquil is almost here. And I also ordered some Ruffles chips, which whatever, I just, like, really wanted
sure.
some. And they're glu they're
Why not?
gluten-free.
If you're already getting the other stuff, why not throw
Yeah,
that in?
right,
Throw in
right.
some ruffles. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so I was, like, so excited. I'm gonna drink my little Dayquil, and then I'm gonna eat my little Ruffles, and it's gonna be right? Like, I was like, "It's gonna be freaking great."
Yeah.
So, long story short, then I got sidetracked with an IM chat, but, like, at work, and I didn't miss any calls. I didn't miss any messages, and then I get a notification that says, "Your order has been canceled due to driver's attempt to contact you, and, like, you not picking up. Your order will not be refunded." And then I try to contact him, he
Oh.
ignores my call. I call him twice, and he literally ignores my call twice, and I'm like, "Dude." And so then I had to do this whole thing, go into the app and, like, literally fight for my life here and be like, I have no missed calls." I could send you a screenshot of my call log. No missed calls, no messages within the app. Nobody tried to contact me. Nobody came to knock at my door. Like,
Mm.
I sit really close to my door while I'm
Mhm.
working. I would have known, like, if they did. And so it's like I just felt like there was so much resistance throughout that whole situation. And then I got to thinking and I was like, was it me? Like, did this have to do with me? Like, did I manifest this
Mm.
somehow, this whole experience? Like, what was I thinking something that made this play out the way that it did? Do
Mm.
you know what I mean?
Mhm. Sure. Is that the question? Like, if you, what do you think this means?
It maybe, like, or is there anything that I could have done for this not to have happened in the first place in my thought process? Because like I said, I think I was, like, a little bit irritated leading up to it, but
Mhm.
then I really noticed the part where I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna just, like, breathe through this and calm myself down, and the Dayquil will be here really soon." And then I thought, like, I am so lucky that they're gonna bring it and I don't have to, like, leave the house. That's gonna be really great. And I thought, I hope they do it right, right? Like,
Mm.
and then
Mhm.
I started
Mhm.
thinking about it. And so, like, I felt like I did some work to try to, like, ease this situation. But I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, I have some thoughts about this, and before I get to them, I do want to address Yoni, who's also here. Hi, Yoni. She says hi. Um, she also is asking what the topic today is. It's belief in yourself, how to believe in yourself and your dreams. But of course, we always just open the. I spend the first, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes talking about that, and then move on, open the floor to any questions that people have. So Alina's bringing our conversation in a cool direction. So I'm going to flow with it. But if you want to check out that topic specifically, you can always catch the replay of the live stream afterwards. But okay, so as far as Alina, as far as your question goes, I happen to think that, and I don't believe that the universe is testing us, but I believe that as we go through the process of change in
Mhm.
ourself, that we are going to be met with certain little mm, levels of, I don't know. Again, I wish I had a better word for test because I don't feel like it's actually test. I just feel like these things naturally happen. And
Okay.
the better we get, the better we equip ourselves with handling them, the less frequently we tend to run into them, or the more in flow we tend to be with them. So, like, you and I are doing coaching together, and you are making some internal shifts that are real.
Yeah.
They're definitely happening. Like, even what you mentioned in this story that you just
Mhm.
told,
Mhm.
that level of, like, you saying, okay, I could see you're reevaluating, you're kind of like becoming present, you're sort of you're talking to yourself in a kind of self-soothing kind of way. You're kind of like, okay, what is the, what should I do here if this happens or this happens? And you're not, like, freaking out, you're not panicking, you're not going into a spiral because of something like this. And so I think that as you begin to see these, make these internal shifts, changing your inner world, the things that we've kind of been talking about in the coaching, like, you're gonna, these kind of things kind of bubble up almost as though they're, I don't know, like elements from for the universe to be like, okay, well, you're making some changes. Let's see what you do with this situation. Let's see what you do with this situation. How do you handle this situation? And whereas maybe a month or two ago you would have handled this very different, or maybe gotten more upset, or maybe felt very like, oh god, this again, like, oh, this is just another more evidence that nothing goes my way, or things can't be easy, or blah, whatever that those negative beliefs were, or those negative thoughts were. Now you're starting to approach it in a different way. It's a more open way. It's a more flexible way. You're actually very curious as to why this is happening. Like curiosity in why this might be happening is very different than hopeless, like everything's going wrong. I can't, nothing can go right for me, that kind of thing. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, it does. So, like, basically, I'm just trying to, like, brush it off a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, flow with it and show the universe, but also show yourself that little things like this can happen. And yes, it's irritating. It can be annoying. It can be frustrating. I mean, did you end up getting your medication or your money back?
Wait, that's funny because I think it's I think the new order that I placed, I think it's here right now.
Really?
Let
No,
me see. I
I
think
love
I
the universe's timing.
I think I just that is so funny because you literally just asked that,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I can hear them, pulling up right now.
Okay. Don't miss this one though, Alina, because that would be bad. We can't have two of these in a row, you know?
I know, I'm like, "Please, can I have oh, please." Let me
um, yeah, but and I love the
hold
timing of that
hold
because it
hold
I
on
do
one
true.
second.
Yeah, please, if you need to step away to handle that, please do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check. I need to check on this peacock real quick. Hold on. Oh, it's gone. It flew. I really want to see it fly. My dad told me that he was able to like see it take flight the other day, and I was sleeping in, so I missed it. But uh, but I one day I do want to see a peacock fly because I that seems like unrealistic that they they could, but I know that they can because how else are they getting up there? Um, anyway, so yeah, Yoni, let me get to you while Alina is getting her order taken care of. I'm talking about the idea of belief today, belief in yourself, belief in your dreams, and using this scale, this belief scale, which I'm loosely taking from Esther Hicks Abraham teachings. They talk about the belief scale and how like getting to hope is super important because if you can start hoping or at least hoping that what you want could happen or that you could have what you want to have or you can be who you want to be or you can do what you want to do or your dreams and goals can come true if you can at least get to the level of hope your mind sort of expands and opens to a level where you can start letting really cool things in really cool ideas in really cool insight in really cool epiphanies in really cool aha moments in and ideally, you get to one of these two at the top. Because if you have belief in yourself or your dreams or knowing of yourself and your dreams, even if they're not here yet, even if you can't explain it, you couldn't tell, even if you couldn't say how something would happen or or the timing that it would happen, but you just know it's going to happen. That is a level of operation or operating in your life that makes real magic happen because then you're going to pop. If you know something's true, you're going to pop great ideas at some point along your journey. And you're going to actually move with them because you believe in yourself and you believe that they're going to work. So I highly recommend just the idea of reminding yourself of some useful things that you can talk to yourself about or remind yourself of each day that are very believable that will help you get move in the right direction on all those things you want to go. Alina, are you back?
Yes, I
Okay,
have
great.
my Dayquil and my
Great.
NyQuil and my Ruffles. I have everything.
Amazing. And the ruffles too. Okay, I'm glad. So
Yeah, and
all
I
is right with the
tipped
world.
him, and I'm like, "Okay, we're good." Like, I feel good about this. He was so nice, because I don't know if you've noticed, but like the delivery apps, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, tip in advance," and then and then it's like, well, if my order doesn't come, then like
I
maybe I
mean,
don't need to tip in
as you've
advance.
seen, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
How would you rate your own, or how would you describe your own vibe as handling the situation, like the one that didn't arrive? Like, did you find yourself handling it differently than you would, like, let's say 6 months ago? And did you like, are you happy with how you did? Like, I'm just curious how you doing because I hear in your voice a vibe that is even when you were describing it, you were still in the midst of this. You didn't have the Dayquil in your hand until literally just 5
Mhm.
seconds ago. So, how would you describe your own handling of the situation mentally and emotionally?
I mean, I think better than, like, before. I think maybe I would have let this consume me for hours in the past,
Right.
honestly.
Right, right. And the fact that you have this lightness about you and even asking this question or telling this story, there's something about that. I'm telling you, I don't know, but there's real magic to it because I know there's magic to it in the sense that I can't, of things I can't explain, but there's also magic to it in a way I can very much explain, which is when you handle situations with a lightness and levity and maybe even joke, be able to joke about it, be able to like, or be curious about it, you're keeping yourself up here. It might I'm not, it might not be like the most happy, excited, time, but you're still in a good positive headspace, and that means you're connected longer to all your cool resources, all your good ideas, all your ability to get insights on yourself and insights on the situation, and like navigating situations like that. It's almost like, again, I don't think they're tests, but I think they bubble up naturally, organically. And when you handle them in a way that you're doing now, it's going to just snowball in a really, really cool way for you. It's going to make life just feel easier, smoother. You're going to be able to navigate problems better. You're not going to feel like you're just being constantly like hit over and over and over and knocked down over and over and over again. You're showing yourself that when things like this happen, even if they're kind of annoying and frustrating, in the initial moment of it happening, like, oh damn, or disappointing, you're showing yourself that that's okay. You can flow through it. You can navigate it. And that is such good practice, because then when bigger things happen, you're going to be able to more smoothly be able to navigate those too, which is just, it changes your life. It really does.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, so just like, "Well, you know what? This happened, it wasn't perfect, and, like, let's move forward," kind of thing.
It wasn't perfect. Let's move forward. And I'm really proud of myself for navigating it this way. I'm really
Yeah,
happy that I'm able to do that now. It
yeah.
really feels good that like, I don't know about you, and maybe you'll see this soon, but like I got to the point where, and I still live this way, where when something goes wrong, oh man, something happened I think today, oh man, what was it? Like something being closed or something not, or I was supposed to call someone that I wanted information from, but I couldn't get to him. He was calling me back. I need information from this person. I called him back a few hours later.
Then you
Now I
missed
had to
it.
leave a mess, missed him. We keep missing each other, but
Yeah.
I need this information. And part of me is like, when that happens, I I become almost excited in my, that's a weird way to say it, but it truly is. Like I feel like it's a superpower, like for me to handle things like that, because I know that I'm showing the universe and I'm showing myself these things happen, and I'm just gonna let it roll off me. I'm gonna let it roll off my back, like water off a duck's back. I like that phrase. Like
Mhm.
I sometimes I'll just say like off a duck's back. Sometimes when things go wrong, I'll just literally say off a duck's back and move on with my day. But there's this sense of like empowerment that I get because I'm showing myself that these things don't bother me. They don't knock me down. They don't consume me. They don't take over my day, and they don't have power over my mind the way they used to in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. And I'm still wanting more ease, right? Because the other part of your question was, well, did you get the refund? And it's like, yes, but it was it was a really like lengthy
Mhm.
process. And first they ask you to type it out. Then the person joins, the chat. Then they ask you to repeat what the issue is about. Then they start sending you multiple text messages apologizing, like, that take, like, 2 minutes, and I'm like,
Wait,
"What?"
even the apologies bother you?
I mean, okay. Okay, because I don't need it, like, that's not why I came,
Okay.
you know what
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean? Like, I'm like, That's nice, I'm glad
Just
you're
give me my
sorry, but, like."
$16 back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well, with fees, it was, like, 23 or something, or maybe. And I'm
Sure,
like, "Can
sure.
you just process the refund?" Like, so it's like that whole process took like 12 minutes,
Okay.
of the day. And obviously, like, I was sidetracked from my work because of that, So then
The
I
work
was
that you don't like, that you got like a little reprieve
yeah,
from?
yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe you could see it as like you got a little break out of that from your work, so you didn't have to do more work.
And, like, I so get it too because, like, as I say it, I'm like, "Wow, what a first world problem that my freaking, like, grocery technically." Like, yes, it was NyQuil and DayQuil, and it is, like, it's important, right?
Well, the
But
Ruffles are definitely groceries.
yeah, they
Yeah.
are. Yeah, but, like, what a first world problem. Like,
I
oh
know, I know, but you still there still are problems, and, like, I really do think that, yes, navigating it is showing yourself that you have the power to do this in a way that doesn't take you completely out of your good headspace, where you can still like, yes, it was still annoying, yes, like you're saying, it took, 15 minutes to deal with it, but there is something about you being able to do that and not fall into this place of hopelessness or like complete
mhm.
defeat or like just feeling like so like overwhelmed by all the stuff like that isn't going right and that isn't going right and even the delivery is right and I'm sick on top of it. I mean, the fact that you're sick and you have a fever and you're still able to kind of carry your vibes in this way, I think is so a testament to like how far you're coming and how good you're doing and how much progress you're making. And I think you should like use moments like this and like even like issues like this as opportunities to pat yourself on the back and show and like let those show like real life evidence, real world evidence that what you're doing is clearly working.
Yeah, I really I love that you're pointing that out because it's funny because I've had some friends say the same thing too, that, like, one thing about me is I am really good now at
Mm,
self-advocacy.
mhm,
I will advocate for myself. I will get things done. I definitely try to attempt it in like a very respectful way when I can, but I'm also not above saying, "Oh, okay, well then I'll be reporting this to X, Y, and Z." And I'm thinking like healthcare type situations, not this, but like I've been known to like do that and then get what I needed as the outcome, which really should have been, a given in the first place. And
mhm,
I've had friends comment on that and be like, I don't know how you got through that because like I wouldn't have been able to do what you did and say it the way you said it. And then
mm,
when people are still trying to kind of like get one over on you to like even know which agencies to report to like say, "Oh, well then I'm going to report this." Like you have to do a fair amount of research to understand where you're, filing claims reports to or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, I do that because if I
whoa,
don't, who else will?" you know?
yeah. And do you know some of that because of the industry you work too? Is that part of it?
Yeah, kind
Oh,
of.
so there's like a benefit to this too that you might
Well,
actually.
yeah, actually, yeah, there is in a sense, yeah, because I am grateful for some of the people here because when I had to deal with like a leave situation, I got a ton of um advice from a senior consultant on exactly what to say, where to
Mm,
if the needs aren't being met. So while there's been, like a lot of issues internally, there's also been a lot that I've learned from being here that I've been able to use to push my way forward within like the medical system and now kind of taking that mold and being able to place it over other areas of my life that, aren't like related to the medical system too.
I love that, and I feel like, yeah, nothing's like black and white, it's all kind of like in the gray, and so even things like this, like, there are positives and benefits and negatives and downsides to everything, and if you're especially if you're at a job that you do and I know you don't love your job and eventually you're gonna work somewhere else, like, you're gonna find a passion, you're gonna find a better job that you are in love with at someday, but until then, like focusing on the positives that come out of it, because there clearly are positives that come out of it. The
Mhm.
people, the knowledge, your ability to now advocate for yourself in an empowered way because you kind of know how it kind of works. All those things are very like are awesome that that you have that. So take the good stuff that you're getting it through the experience as you're moving to new experiences in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was something that you mentioned before, which is yes, you still even okay, yes, you're progressing, but you want more ease. And I think that's an important element to touch on, which is the progress that you're making is it's almost like think about it like ease isn't necessarily like a snap away. It doesn't necessarily go from like you having a hard time and really struggling to like instantly life of ease. It's
Mm,
like it is like this arc that like gets you from one to the other where you start to progress more and more. Life just becomes a little easier, a little easier, a little easier. The way you start to think makes your life a little smoother, a little nicer, a little more convenient, a little easier. And like it's a practice that as you continue doing, you'll start to see those shifts. But the moments that you're having now, where you can literally be sick and you're dealing with that on top of a job you don't necessarily love, and like having the inconvenience of this like medicine drop off be the way it was, but the fact that you can navigate that and in a way that isn't like crushing to you and isn't defeating you and making you feel like you just want to throw your hands up and give up and not even jump on a live stream because you don't want to deal with you're not in the right space to do it, whatever.
mm,
It's like those are all examples of you moving towards more ease and more ease and more ease. So, yes, it is true that you want more ease. And yes, it is great that you want more ease. And yes, you deserve more ease. And yes, you're moving towards more ease. But it will take some time of just continuing to do exactly what you're doing, but just doing it each day a little bit more. Just continue to do it, continue to do it. And when these things blip into your radar and like kind of knock like throw you a little bit, do exactly how you described in this story today, where you kind of like recentered yourself, started talking to yourself in like a self-soothing kind of way, and like balance. You found balance
mhm,
in the moment of like minor chaos, and
mhm,
so the more you do that, the more ease you're going to find. And you operated in this example in a way where what I found in my life is the better you handle situations like this, the
mhm,
fewer they happen. So,
mm,
like, whereas like in the past, if you really are thrown by shit, like there's gonna be more that just it almost like they pile on and pile on and pile on and it just keeps happening. But the more I found that I handled things in a smooth way, in an easy way, in a way that like felt like it should have really disappointed me or should have really made me mad or should have really upset me, and I still found my inner strength, my inner balance, my inner peace, my inner happiness, and rolled with it anyway, and moved on and was able to like navigate it with a sense of flow. It happens fewer and fewer times. Like I'm not saying it stops altogether, but it does happen so infrequently. And you kind of like build up, I don't want to say a tolerance, but you kind of build up to a level where of like you establish this baseline that's just so high that all these shitty things that when you're down here and shitty things hit you, you get knocked down, you get knocked down, you get
mhm,
knocked down. When
mhm,
you have a baseline up here and these shitty things just kind of happen sometimes, but more infrequent, and they just kind of move on. You know what I mean? They don't really disturb you. You disturb your peace, and that's sort of where you're going. Like you're working your way up. So maybe a month ago, you were like down here. So when I forgot what hand I was using for this example, but you were down here, and these are the shitty things, and they would bump you. But now you're kind of up here, and like the shitty things are happening, and you're feeling a little bit of the bump, but you're still able to navigate it like you're doing. And this was such a great example. And as you do that more, you're just going to keep raising and raising and raising. And I'm
mhm,
not going to say you'll never be bumped by things, but it'll just fewer things will hit you. And when you get hit down, you're not going to stay down as long. It's not going to like feel as overwhelming as it was. And you're going to get this real, you're going to establish and show yourself and prove to yourself that you have a real sense of sway over your life, over your mindset, over your thoughts and your feelings, over your inner world. Like it's gonna you're on the path. I can hear it in your voice. I read it in your text the other day. Like I can tell I'm someone who can pick up energy from people's voice, what they say, how they say it, and how the words that they're using in texts. And your energy is definitely different in the last couple of days than I've since when I've honestly since when I've known you, since when I met
mm.
you.
Wait, that's really cool. I mean, not to say that I, like, don't get frustrated. Sometimes I get so frustrated, and sometimes I do it in a funny way too. Like, people are like, "That's hilarious," and I'm like, "But I'm raging
Yeah.
a little bit," you know? But I think that, like, it's yeah, it's been less time that I kind of, like, spend there, and it might still be, like, intense when it comes up,
Mm.
but, yeah, I'm not there for as long.
Good, good, perfect. And then note that to yourself, like keep reminding yourself of that. Like, damn, I made it through that hiccup today and it did not keep me down as long as I usually have been kept down. And just
Yeah,
keep reminding yourself of things like that. And I will tell you, the more you do it, then the next step is going to be, man, it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me as hard this time. That didn't hit me as hard as it once did. So you're going to get the benefit of both, like not getting stayed, not being down as long and not being hit as hard for most things. Like certain things are really gonna, I get knocked down hard sometimes and I'm very practiced at this, so it's not to say that
yeah.
you're never going to run into that, but it is worth noting any progress, whether it's length of time that you are in an upset mood or an angry mood, or the intensity of it when you experience it. Either way, any of those factors, but the shifts are happening, and like note it to yourself, because if you note this shift, then you're reminding yourself and you're reminding your mind, like, oh, I'm getting better. Oh, I'm improving. Oh, I'm seeing results. Oh, I'm changing. And that alone is going to keep the momentum of that change going so that you can keep seeing it more and more and more and more.
I love this. Well, and I'm realizing that, some of it is my thoughts about, like, I went through a lot of stuff as a kid. I won't get into it, and as
Mhm.
a young adult, right? But, like, I went through a lot of stuff, and for some reason, I think I have this idea that, like, all right, well, I went through a lot of stuff, and that means I get to have a perfect life now. And at
Mm.
the risk of sounding like arrogant, sometimes I see myself as this like angelic being that just wants to like breeze through life.
You are.
Oh, thank
You
you.
are. We all are. But I like that you're recognizing that. I'm so glad you see yourself that way. And you deserve to be happy and you deserve to live the life you want. But I will say, like we all experience, bumps in the road along the way, but they don't
Yeah,
have to be a lot. They don't have to be all consuming. They don't have to hit us like for and take us out for days or weeks or months. Like they can really just be like oh, we just get hit, they become opportunities where you start to feel less, like you take the emotional hit, but it doesn't last long, and then you use that as an opportunity to say, oh, how can I change the way I'm looking at this? This is an
yeah.
opportunity now, an invitation to start looking at this thing a little different, and then you're going to start moving on your journey and you're going to feel good for good. You're going to get hit by another thing and you're going to be like, okay, what, you'll take the emotional hit and then you'll say, this is now an invitation for me to look at this subject or this person or this situation a little different. And what I've noticed is each time you kind of patch, it's like you run into a little problem and then you patch it, and then you're good, and then you move along and you're happy, 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 and then you run into another problem and you patch that in, after a little while, and then you're good. But each patch that you do kind of fixes mm, a lot of other potential future problems. Like for example, like like I was talking to a friend who was we were talking about distrust in people, like not feeling like, oh, I don't know, I have a hard time trusting people, or like I sometimes, like, it was like the topic of distrust. And I remember talking to her about it, and it was kind of like a coaching kind of session that we were kind of doing. And she it clicked in her mind of like, oh, and I don't want to get into the details of like necessarily, that's a whole big issue of like trust and distrust or whatever. But she felt good about that after that. She felt like she got to a place where it wasn't necessarily about trusting. It's like for me, I just go about my life and I kind of just know that some people make mistakes. People are probably going to do things that I don't expect them to do sometimes. Like it's just part of the nature of life. You don't know, and you have no control over what people are going to say, do, or whatever. But so I don't really see, like, I don't put a lot of, I don't know what to say. I both trust people and I also know that there's room for things to change and things to happen. And so I don't really put my eggs in that basket to be like crushed, I guess, in that way.
Mhm.
Um, and so when she kind of saw it that way for that one person that she was talking about, it kind of then was in her mind something she was able to apply across the board. So now in the future, if it's that person or some other person altogether, like she's going to know how to navigate it because she's found the solution, the insight. When you find an insight for something, it doesn't always necessarily just fix that one problem for that one situation or that one person. It's actually an insight that you can now apply across the board. Like for example, I'll tell you the one that I recently had, and again, I won't go too much in depth because it's probably just another episode to like get into it. But like maybe I was telling you this on our last call where I ran into a person, a friend of mine who just can't support me, can't believe
Yeah.
in me, and can't show that. It's just not able to for whatever reasons he has. And and it really like would
Watch
knock
this
me.
person actually be watching this. Sorry.
I mean, maybe they are, but probably
Okay,
not
so
because
go on.
I don't think they follow. I don't
Yeah.
think they are interested enough to like check out what I'm doing.
You never know with
But
people.
I don't. But when I my the insight that I gained from that situation was, oh my god, I'm valuing this person's opinion of me over my own opinion of myself, and I don't want to do that because I know that what I'm doing is meaningful. And I know that my approach and my philosophy is really valuable, not only for me, but for the people that I've coached that have helped them find cool success and cool transformation in their own life. So even if this one person doesn't really, I don't know, believe it or doesn't really, or like bumps up against some of the things that I'm teaching, like that doesn't mean that it's not going to work for a bunch of other people.
Mhm.
He's just not my audience, and that's okay. But I don't want to value his opinion over my own opinion because the
Yeah.
other thing is like he doesn't know what I'm teaching. He doesn't have a curiosity to figure that to really like learn what I'm actually how I'm actually helping people. And so why would I value his opinion about more than my own when I know way more about what I'm doing than he does, and I know and I see how it's working and he doesn't. And so anyway, I came up with that insight of like, oh, I want to value my opinions, my thoughts and my beliefs and my knowing about myself and what I'm doing over anyone else's. And so that helped me in that situation. But that patch that I made by having that insight is now going to help me forever into the future whenever I bump into anyone else who has this. So, like, if anyone else bumps against what I'm teaching or what I'm doing, that's okay because now I know how to not let that affect me as much as it used to because of this incident. So basically, what I'm saying is once you find a little insight or epiphany or clarity on something that's going on in your life, you can then, it not only works for that situation, but now that's forever. You've patched that up for future problems so that every time in the future when something similar kind of pops up, it doesn't even affect you anymore because you've already transformed beyond that, or what is the word I'm looking for? Like you've transcended that already. So now now all of that just flows under you like water under a bridge. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But if you don't find that patch, then that one person, it's going to bump you. And then if another person happens, and even if you said, okay, I'm not going to talk to that person anymore, I'm going to cut them out of my life. Okay, sure, you can do that, and that's fair. But then what happens when the next person doesn't believe in you or can't support you or criticizes or judges what you're doing? Well, you're just going to keep bumping into them because you have not transcended it. But
Mhm.
if you find the clarity and the insight to transcend, then you fixed all of those problems because now if whether it's that person or this person or 100 people criticizing, judging, not believing, not supporting, it doesn't matter because you've already found your answer for all of that. It's like a blanket solution in a way. And so as you go like about your life, when you bump into things, kind of see them as invitations to like, okay, yeah, this sucks. I don't love that this happened, but what can I gain from it? What did I learn from it? How can I change the way I'm thinking or looking at it so that it helps me, yes, in this moment, but it helps me in pretty much all the future moments that anything kind of like this pops into my life. And that just makes your life again, just every time you do it, like smoother. Now it's a little smoother. Now it's a little easier. Now it's a little nicer. Now it's a little happier. Now it's a little smoother. Now it's a little better. And it's just like constantly that over and over and over again.
Mhm. Yeah, I really love that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really realizing like I did a lot of stuff today that like a year ago I actually probably wouldn't have done it at all. Even the
Wow.
way that I like showed up at work with this tedious situation, I
Can you
would have.
tell me? Do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I mean, like my laptop is next to me. I could even just tell you like what I said. I was like, you know, I mean, I won't tell you the details, but I was like, messaged my teammate who's senior to me because I need to get something done. And I was like, well, I found this, and that. But how would I understand this from this information? How can I determine this? This is what I have. Here's the screenshots, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I was obviously like working hard, you know? Like in the
Yeah.
past, I would have just been like, "Oh yeah, I'm not sure," and
Mm.
waited for everyone else to chew it out
Mm.
for me, and I would have played like damsel in distress
Mhm.
and like don't bother me.
Mhm.
But like I am trying to keep the job even though I don't like it, right? So then I said something like, "Oh well, um I was like, I'm glad I'm in here and researching everything I can, because then the person like, because I really did do that. Given this,
Yeah, yeah.
I was in there researching everything I could. And this person, she ended up responding to me and she was like, "Wow, like this was really great." And she was like, "None of this was a you issue. It's just that information is really not in there." So then she was like, "Why don't you kind of follow my lead? I'm going to CC you on this email and we're going to ask, to obtain this information." But she basically ended up telling me that like I did a great job with like researching to that part to
Mm.
figure out that we don't have that information, because I searched within like 4 or 5 documents to get to that, and, like, I wouldn't have
Mm.
done that before, you
Hell
know?
yeah. Oh,
I
Alina,
Yeah.
this is the progress. Like this is it. And yes, and no, this does not mean like you get better at this job, or you get like, I don't know, you start to become more, I don't know, like what you're talking about, improve at this job, because that's gonna mean that you're gonna work there. This is not about like working here forever or working here for even a long amount of time. But doing this allows you to it unlocks different headspaces for you to then watch other opportunities. Like doing things like this, I truly believe this opens up opportunities outside of even your current work to come to you, to come into your life, for people to like mention you about things, for people to like, it might be people you work with now that start to be impressed by the things that you're doing. It might be friends of yours. It might be people that you just run into. It might be postings that you see on other sites that you go on that your mind's able to go, you like to venture down. But like you're going to see other opportunities pop up because you're doing things like this, and because you're now just in a better state of flow. Like this is such a big difference. I hope you can feel the big difference in that.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, the reason why I engaged with her in particular like this is because out of all the people at my work, I actually resonate with her the most. I feel like
Mm,
she doesn't have corporate personality just like me.
mm,
And I think she's worked really hard to know everything that she knows, but she's like very silly. And I think she
mm,
has a really hard time sometimes, just like I do, because she's so silly and it's not like widely accepted. And she's senior, but I can even pick up on how like other people who are also as senior or more senior to her, she feels like the outsider, like
mm,
I,
mhm,
I see the way people engage with her like in large team meetings, but like that's why I like her the most, because I'm like, you're not really a corporate girly. And I
mhm.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, and so then I'm like, okay, if she asks me to do something, let me like really try, as much as I can to like accomplish it. And so
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, like out of all people, I vibe with her the most out of all the teammates that I work with. And yeah, like I think that's something to be celebrated. Like maybe everyone else
Absolutely.
kind of annoys me a little bit and they're not my people, but at least she doesn't.
You'll find the people that you resonate with, and that's all you need to do. Just keep finding people that you resonate with, and as you continue down your journey, you might find that some of these people that you're currently maybe labeling as like corporate or whatever, you might see as you start to change and talk to them, it'll start to like you won't be able to help it. It'll spill out in your words, in your tone, in your text, in your emails. It'll kind of just drip out, and you might see them start responding to you in a way that reveals that actually they're not even as corporate as you thought, and they're more personable as than you thought, and they're more friendly than you thought, and they're more like a real person than you thought. And you'll start finding more and more and more of them, because like companies, even corporations, are ultimately made up of like real people, and most of them are just kind of in similar boats to you, where they might not like the corporateness of it, but they kind of try to like fit into that world, and it makes them appear a certain way that they aren't in their home life or their real life. But you don't get to see that, and so you assume certain things. But as you do this more, you'll start to see the more human side of more people, and just keep gravitating to the ones that resonate with you, like you're doing with this person.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I feel like now that I've mastered this situation, now I can move out of this job somehow. I'm like, "Okay,
absolutely.
I did
Keep
the
an
hard
open.
thing that I didn't wanna do. I know I could do it. Now let's
Yes.
move on."
Ooh, you know you could do it. You
Well,
know.
and
Yeah,
that's
that's
the thing,
an that
I know I
yeah.
could. Like, I know that I if I had to work this job forever and figure it out, I know I could. It's just
That's
also
honestly what you just said is the best way to get to a different job, is literally what you just said. Like the fact that you have in your mind, like, I know I could figure that, if I had to have this job for the rest of my life, I know I could figure that out. That's like the unlock that will help. That means there's no like desperation in that. There's like, that's a strong, a confidence, a knowing. That kind of mental emotional like headspace is what keeps your like antenna radar up for opportunities to come to you out of the nowhere, for you, the universe to provide you with opportunities, for people to mention things from you, or for you to follow your own passions or interests to different sites or different ideas or different places, even physical places that might lead you to opportunities that are out there right now, ready for you. And I think I told you this on our last coaching call, but once you start like leveling up in that way, mentally, emotionally, like, oh, now you're more, once you do that, it's almost like you're proving to yourself and the universe that you're ready for another opportunity. Like you're now, if you're confident in this job, the more confident you are at this job, the more you express and like exude confidence that other companies want their people, their workers, their employees to have. So that makes you now more, what is it, more more appealing to them. That makes them want you to have, versus when you felt like you were helpless and stuck and like tortured and like really unhappy. It's like, as true and valid as those feelings are, other people and other companies and other, even people who might want to hire their friends or hire just cool people, they can't see the real you because you're sort of spiraling in this negative space. And so you don't seem attractive to them to want to like bring you on or invite you to something or hire you, or like, or it won't come across well in interviews. But this, what you're, how you're talking now, that is the vibe that will get you hired at other places.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate that. And I think, like as I continue to like learn and grow and explore, it'll hopefully be a little bit more highlighted to me what the actual path is. But I really
Mhm.
can't help but feel that, my next thing has nothing to do with an employer, though.
Oh,
You
I
might
love
be
that
right
too.
that they might
Yes.
want me because I know I could,
Hmm.
if I wanted to,
Yeah.
right? But that's the thing. There's just not a whole lot of appeal about an employer
I
that
love
I
that. You're
feel.
speaking my language. I love that. And I totally believe that for you. Like absolutely. That is a wide, I mean, I've told this I think to you, but to many people, probably on this show before too, but like now more than ever, it's becoming, I think, like I watch a lot of videos about this because this is the route I'm taking, but like there are ways to make money in following your passions, in following your knowledge, and like taking your gifts, your talents, your experience, your interests, your knowledge, your everything. And being able to make money is more easy now to do than it ever was before. Like there, like 100 years ago, or even 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, in a lot of ways, it wasn't as available for anyone to just start social media or start their own website or start their own company in a way that where they can teach something or show something or provide a service or provide entertainment or provide anything that could get them like followers, fans, customers, clients, like whatever that is. So absolutely, absolutely. The world is wide open and every day it's getting more wide open. And I think like a lot of people are jumping on the train of like, let's not work for a company. Let's work for ourselves because it really is the best way to find the financial stability and the freedom that we want, that we can make the life we want to live and we can work the hours we want to work and we could
Yeah.
be doing the things that we want to do that fulfill us in the ways that we want to.
Yeah, and there's no, like, I mean, in that kind of scenario, I feel like the only authority is the one over yourself, right?
Absolutely.
There's
Yes.
none of that, like, "Oh, well, someone has authority over me," because I do still feel that, in a corporate setting that, like,
Sure.
they
Yeah.
think that, like, they have control over me, and I'm like, "That's a weird thought for you to have." Like, that's so odd because I don't
Totally.
feel that.
I'm glad that it's feeling odd to you, and I think that's the sign, like, I can sense the signs of you making this transformation, like, it's happening in real time as we speak, like, again, I mean, even if you go back and listen to past live streams that you've jumped on with me, like, the way you're talking and operating and how you're expressing yourself today is very different than I think any other time that I've talked to you, and I remember even we had a call, I think, on Sunday, 4 days ago, and you were in a very different mindset too, but in the last literally, again, like, 2 days, 3 days, I don't know what it's been, you've
Yeah.
made such a shift mentally, emotionally, such a shift in your inner world that it's almost like I'm talking to a different person. This is how it's coming across to me. And I'm
Yeah.
someone who's very sensitive to that. So I'm telling you, like, I want to validate that that is what is happening. It's not like, so it might, and maybe it feels incremental in your head. I don't know how it feels for you, but for me, it feels very dramatic.
Yeah, okay, I really love that, that's really interesting. Yeah, because, I feel like a free bird, like, that's
Yes. Oh,
maybe like a peacock. Yeah, that's I feel like that's who I
yes.
am, inside, and I definitely
Yes.
I just, these really weird concepts to me. And it's funny because, like, I know that everybody has a different personality because, like, I've talked to my mom about this before too, and I was like, "Mom, don't you find the concept of PTO so strange?" It's like, "What do you mean I have to request time to live
Mm.
my life, mine?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "What do you mean? It's PTO. You get paid, you take the time. What's the big deal?" And I'm like, "No, no, no.
Right.
We're not seeing eye to eye here, so let's not keep
Right.
talking about this." But yeah, to me it's a weird concept because I'm like, why would I
Yes.
ask someone else how to spend my day, you know?
It's gonna feel, maybe this sounds, I mean, maybe this will make you excited, but like I remember when I started looking for mindset related jobs, like this is back when I was like, oh, maybe instead of going in the route of doing my own business, I should start looking for other companies or I was starting to look for like what companies might like just be wanting a mindset coach for their employees or for their management team or for their, like their top CEOs or whatever. And I was looking at and I would find certain companies that had like, and especially some of the newer ones that are coming up, some of like the newer startups that are
Mm,
like
mhm.
being established, where their whole premise is work however much you want, or take as much time off as you want. You still get paid the same, but you
Yep.
take as much time. You work when you want, and you don't work when you don't want, and you have complete freedom in this like way. But like ironically, when companies foster such a positive, like freeing kind of structure, a lot of times they see people working more. They don't take a ton. There's not a people that take a ton of time off because they know that they have the freedom. And so when they're given the freedom, they actually want to do the work. They
Yep.
actually value the company more. They're like, "Oh my God, I want to work for that company. I want to help
Right.
you because you're giving me all this freedom. Let me help you in all the ways that I can. Let me perform at my best." And so that is the kind of, so I will tell you, there are companies like that that exist too. And I hope that you either do your own thing or find something where it feels like a no-brainer and it's like a win-win situation where you're like, oh, I can with this job get the freedom that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I really love that actually, Chris. That's a really great concept because I think, yeah, I think why there's still resistance because, like, they say how many days in my company, for example. They
Right.
say, "You get this amount of days," and I can feel the resistance of that. I'm like, "Well, what do you mean you're telling me how many days?" And if those days if the days were unlimited, would I need to use them all? No, you're probably right. Like, I would
Right.
be like, "Okay, maybe I go on a vacation or 2, right? Like, if the
Yeah.
salary permits, but would I really need to take all the time? Maybe not, you know,
Right,
like
right, absolutely, and they know this, they know this, so and they want that for themselves because people who structure their companies like that also have that mindset for themselves. They don't wanna be workahol they want to enjoy their life, but do think but they believe in their company, they believe in what they're doing, and so, like, there's this, like,
yeah.
element of, like, we're proud of what we do, and we love what we do, and we have a passion for what we do, and that's why we do it, and that allows them to have both the freedom and uh, the success, you know?
Well, it just highlighted to me something a little bit kinda deeper into how these companies are operating. Like, I feel like the way that my company's operating right now, not just towards me, but towards everybody, they're trying to
Yes.
chase us. They're in this like chasing lackful energy. Like, oh, especially for
Mhm.
people that just start, okay, like you have 15 days of PTO in the year. Like, what a way to make people feel like they're being chased, like by,
Right.
like by a partner. Sometimes somebody just suffocates you, right? Like too much. Like it happens in relationships and stuff too. And it's funny how there's some companies that operate in that way. But then there's the other companies that you're mentioning where they're like, "Oh, here, partner." It's the equivalent of a
Yes.
relationship where the partner is like,
Yes.
"I love you, and here is the freedom for you to go and be with your friends
Yes.
and like, chill out and come home when you're ready to be with me." Like that
Totally.
maybe
Totally.
maybe that's not a great example, but
I
that's how I
love it.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think you're nailing it, like, that is so true, and think about what kind of, like, mindset or what kind of energy that fosters, like, the 2 differences in what you just described. The companies that chase or that force or that push or that grind versus the companies that offer freedom and flexibility and encourage you to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and allow you to all the ability to enjoy your life and want you to enjoy your life because they know that you enjoying your life is going to be better for them and the work that you put out is going to be just better quality because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Such different, so many differences. But I do want to we kind of have to wrap up because we've been
Yeah,
doing this
I know.
for
I realized we were chatting.
121. But I do want to just end here by saying, like, I love your progress. Like, it is very clear to me that you are in the process right now. The fact that you said in this call, I feel as free as a bird is such a and I think the peacock is beautiful, like, to coincide with this episode for that. But like that is such a mind-blowingly cool thing to hear someone like you who's been struggling for a while be able to say in a way that it wasn't like, you know, I even had to prompt you to say something like that. It wasn't even like I had to guide you to say that. You literally are just speaking as yourself right now. You're speaking your truth, you're speaking authentically, and it's coming from like this place of just pure love, pure heart, pure passion, pure freedom. It's so I don't want to say it's mind blowing, but it's just very exciting to me, and also is something to be said. I think about like like I do this coaching in a way that where I'm hoping that everyone finds this when they do this, and like this is very encouraging to me too that like because you haven't lived an easy life and you haven't experienced easy things and so in a lot of ways and so the fact that you were able to find this progress yourself and find this like movement in a direction that's more freeing and more peaceful and more like you're just able to enjoy things more and be able to navigate things better. It's such a it's just beautiful to watch and I'm so happy for you and please like continue to come
Yeah.
to these. I would love to keep hearing your progress as you go, but this is just and I told you as I texted you a few days ago, this is only the beginning. Like this is truly you're scratching the surface, because once you start this ball rolling, it becomes like a real avalanche where of good stuff happening,
Yeah.
where things just start to become a little easier, a little smoother, a little nicer, and then that just starts to grow, and then you start to relationships start to change. You'll notice, as you have been, that the people in your life start to talk to you differently or seem more open to you in a different way.
Mhm.
Start to tell you things that make you feel more comforted, more loved, more cared about. You'll start to see, then you start to keep going, and you'll start to see opportunities present themselves, and things start to happen, and circumstances start to shift. This is the beginning stages, but I'm telling you, just keep moving with these good energies and these good headspaces in a consistent way, the way you're doing. Just keep literally doing what you're doing, and you will see magic unfold day after day after day. Not to say every single day is going to be magical, but you will see them way more often than you've been seeing them in the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too.
Ah.
Okay, great. And what a great segue too. I want to promote my coaching as well. So anyone who might want to also work with me, feel free to do that. Like, these changes are possible. Like, these things are possible, even if right now you're in a state where you don't believe or you doubt that it's possible. Like, these things can absolutely happen. It just takes some practice. It just takes some time. It just takes some learning about the basics of how your emotions work, how your mind works, how to connect your mind and your heart so that you can be yourself and live as yourself. If you want coaching like this for your own life, for me to help you personally on your journey, feel free to check out my website, chrisnewth.com. I should put that up on the screen. And you can find also there my free EQ newsletter too. If you want to do this as a self journey, which is also totally uh, valuable, and you absolutely should. If you don't take my coaching, you should absolutely do this yourself, which is just be on your own journey of learning how your mind works and learning how your heart works and learning how to connect the two so that you can find yourself, connect with yourself, believe in yourself, as the topic of today, um, and move towards your goals and dreams in real world ways and find the enjoyment and the happiness. Oh, that is the ultimate win and the ultimate importance. So check out my website, chrisnewth.com. You can sign up for a completely free EQ newsletter where you'll get daily mindset cheat codes for 2 weeks about telling you the most important things that changed my life. It's probably about a 5-minute read each one, or you can skim them just for the cheat codes if you just want quick fixes. And then put these things into practice in your own life. Like, do these things on a daily basis. Do things that you enjoy. Follow your heart. Follow your passions. Follow your fun. Follow your excitement. Follow your bliss. Follow your peace. Do things that make you happy. Say yes to things you want to do. Say no to things you don't want to do. Start to change your thoughts. Use positive self-talk. Talk like Alina's talking to herself now. Do some self-soothing. It's all things like that. And again, if you want to work with me personally, you can also do that as well. Those are all options available to you. If you want to as well, check us out next week. We'll be back at Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And hopefully you'll be back, Alina. I can't wait to hear about the progress that you're making week to week. I'll talk to you before that too, because I think we have a session in a few days.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm very excited. And is that it, Alina? Do you have anything else you want to add?
me too. I'm gonna go eat my Ruffles now.
Go eat your Ruffles. Oh, what a great way to end. Okay, I'm gonna go look for this peacock.
Yeah, oh my god, enjoy.
Okay, thanks. All
Do
right,
your
bye.
chant. Okay,
I will. I'll
bye.
do my chant. Bye, guys.
Bye.